Hey guys, we started on another video, but somehow I got it turned off. But we're gonna do a Motor Medic synthetic motor flush in our 2006 Chevrolet Impala SS. This has the 5.3 liter V8, and what you do is you add it to the existing dirty engine oil and let it idle only for 5 minutes and time it, and it'll go through the whole entire engine. And it'll clean oil journals and everywhere where, like if you have a stuck lifter, it could possibly help that condition. It cleans the oil and the oil journals and everything out in the engine. So go ahead, Jordan, he's helping me. We're gonna pour that in. Like I said, just pour it into a cold engine and with your existing oil in before your oil change. And once this is in there and run for 5 minutes, then you will drain all of your oil and change your oil filter. Just let it sit in there for a minute. We like to get every last drop. And this old thing, it's got 190 some thousand, 192, somewhere in there. Blew the transmission out of it, because the transmissions, if you know about the 2006 and newer Impala SS's with a 5.3 V8, don't hold up. So at about 154,000 it started acting up, and then it just gave out on me. So I went to Bob Hook Chevrolet Performance shop at Bob Hook Chevrolet car sales, and it's not a performance transmission, it's just a complete new factory transmission for this car, and installation and everything. It was about $3 grand. You know, we're struggling severely trying to get to work, pay the bills, and wham, transmission goes. I really don't recommend this car. If you want something reliable, get you a Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, Nissan Altima, or even the Maxima. But we're gonna set that in there. Go ahead and put a rag get a rag, and you have the bottle. Put it up underneath the funnel so it don't drip on the exhaust. All right, go ahead and cap this back and we will run the car. Cap that first, that's more important. But we'll run the car for a full 5 minutes, idle only. No revving, no drag racing, no driving. Just let it sit and idle, because that is a very thin liquid. It's going to go through and clean everything. You don't want to overdo it as far as RPMs. All right, guys, hold on a minute. We'll be back. We had to give her a jump start. Been setting too long. Battery's not that old. This thing's got a blend door actuator that keeps coming on and trying to move, I think, all through the night. It's way up underneath the glove box and under the dash. Real pain to get to, and with my sciatic nerve condition, I just can't get up in there to change it. Nor do we have the funds, so minivan to the rescue. And I took this little breather, air intake off right here, and battery cover was solid dirt. You couldn't even see the metal or anything. The negative, not the cover. The negative post was solid dirt. We wiped and scraped and wiped, and we finally found some metal down there. Got a Deca battery here, and we got a Duralast I don't really care for over here. But we're letting it run for the 5 minutes that I spoke about. You got the time, Jordan? Jordan, you got the time? What time was it when we started? 1:38? All right, 5 minutes. I'll keep you guys updated if I hear any unusual noises or any ticking. Nothing so far. It's nice and quiet. Go back here and let you listen to the exhaust. It's an old car. We have a lot of fun in it. My grandpa had a 1964 Impala. I don't think it was the Super Sport, but it had the 327 in it. The yesteryear engine, a lot of you may know, that's a little bit older like me. The 327, it was a quick stroke. This is a 325 LS4 motor. It's got the quick stroke, sequential fuel injection. It'll gas you out back here, guys. But we get done here with the motor flush and the oil change. We're gonna go with the seafoam I got sitting up there, like I said earlier. We got a Fram Tough guard filter, and I'll come around and show you the oil. Well, I thought I would. I can't go that way. Come back this way. My trunk's full of junk, so I can't show you that. Here's my trusty assistant, Jordan. He's my legs, literally. Helps me get everything out and whatnot, but this is the oil I chose. Castrol GTX, high mileage, 5W30 for this car. And I wasn't gonna pay $9 for another single quart, so I grabbed just Super Tech, full synthetic, 5W30. You get whatever oil you choose as long as it's Castrol. Now I like Pennzoil too. My dad had a truck. I bought him brand new, and it's a 1990 GMC Sierra. And we used a lot of Valvoline in that. I don't know if he got good deals on Valvoline or what, but he used Valvoline all the time. And when we tore that motor down, it had some issues. We tore the motor down, and that thing was just plumb full of paraffin wax. Plumb full of it. I'm sure it kept it lubricated, but I wasn't very impressed. So I think Pennzoil is probably one of the most cleanest oils that you can run. I've had some mechanics tell me that they tore down engines that were high mileage, like 200 plus thousand miles. It was in a Honda, and the inside, the engine, and everything was really clean. He was very impressed with the Pennzoil. That's what I put in my mom's car. This one here is a little older. I run it kind of hard. I think Castrol does great on protection. So I run Castrol and Super Tech. It's like Batman and Robin. Usually I get both in Castrol, but funds are low right now, so it's better to have fresh oil than, you know, dirty oil in the engine. So we're going to try and do this. Now, not too awful long ago, I sat here and cleaned the intake and top of the pistons and everything with running water. Once the engine was completely up to operating temperature, water and transmission fluid out of a big mason jar. I took the vacuum line off back there to the brake booster. I think you can see it just behind there. I believe that's what I used. And I was feeding that water and transmission fluid in there. Transmission fluid is a real good cleanser. Keeps everything nice and clean. If you ever open a transmission, you'll see in there the properties of the transmissions real clean. And that's what I used to clean the intake out. Of course, took the throttle body off. This is a new throttle body. I've replaced it since, but you can take it off, clean all down in there, clean out your mass airflow sensor with mass airflow sensor cleaner only. Don't use anything else on that. Down inside you'll see a honeycomb and a couple of little rods sticking up with sensors. You can, if you know what you're doing, you can take that apart. It's not that hard. Undo the clip, undo the clamps here and the air box, and it's down in here. But that'll get filthy dirty from the air flowing in. That'll get filthy dirty in the throttle body and the butterfly. You can also remove that. It's not hard. You pop off a couple fuel lines, a couple electronic plug-ins. You can clean both sides, and it'll just run a little bit better, a little bit smoother. Well, we're going to run this for the 5 minutes, and then we're going to do the oil change. I'm leaving the battery jumper cables on here just to let it charge a little bit. I know the alternator will charge it as well, but all right, guys, we'll check back with you. All right, guys, we ran the 5 minutes. We got the old battery to charge a little bit so we could get it up on the ramps. Jordan's going to take our Castrol GTX Super Tech, whatever, 5W30, that's the extra quart. But this is the real show of the star of the show. I talk backwards. I don't know why my brain does that. The Castrol GTX, that's what you want. This might be okay, but don't run it all the time. Fill the oil filter there. You can get some down in it. All right, it don't have to be 100%. You set it up level somewhere. Put the lid back on that. We're going to go underneath and drain all the oil. Take the old oil filter off. And a lot of you are going to say, oh my gosh, why did you get Fram? Yeah, I know. I went to Walmart to get the oil. We didn't have a whole lot this time for the change. It's as important to get a good quality filter as it is the oil. Just as important, if not more important, because that's filtering the oil as the car runs. So I don't necessarily recommend Fram. It's easier to get off because it has the grip at the bottom. But Jordan's got the little tool sitting down in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. He went in the shed and got it. But get a Wix or get, a quality filter. You really need a good quality filter. But this time, the old gal's going to get the Fram. I know some of you use Fram. That's the Tough Guard, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how many miles it's supposed to be good for. Maybe 3 or 4. What's it say on there? 15,000 mile protection. Stop and go driving. All right. Well, we're trusting you, Fram. Here it goes. We're going to drain the old oil and get this one going. We got the oil filter and the oil off, draining it. We're seeing it underneath there, maybe, hopefully. We're going to let all that drain out to the very last drop. Hope y'all can see it. It's right there by the oil jug. I can't see for all the reflection out here, but got the bolt set in there, the old filter, and it's drained. It drained pretty quick, actually, with that fluid in there. It's a lot quicker than a normal oil. And you should always open this. Let me take that out of there, give it more airflow. We shouldn't have put that in just yet. But I pull the dipstick and open the oil cap to let air flow all the way down through to get your oil out better. We're going to let it drain for, I'm going to say 20 minutes. Probably go in the house, get me something cool to drink. It took me like 5 minutes to get off the ground. And so much pain in my legs and hip, but thank God for my grandson. He was sitting there holding me and holding my arms where I could push up off of him. But we'll get this done. Won't be too long. We'll be back.